Last time these teams got together, it was a classic matchup down at Municipal Stadium last spring, and the Cardinals won that one 6-5 in 10 innings behind a 160-pitch effort of Jeff Pelkey. Of course, the Cardinals went on to win the state championship, while the Knights were eliminated in the very next game against Stillwater. Well, this is 94, and it's our season opener here on KABL. Welcome to Irondale High School. A beautiful afternoon, although very windy here this afternoon, blowing straight out to right field. And the Knights will be taking on the Cardinals in what is this year a conference matchup between the teams. The Cardinals come in 1-1, having been beaten by Forest Lake in their opener, and then bouncing back with 3 in the 7th inning to beat Anoka 3-2. Last Thursday afternoon, Irondale, on the other hand, 2-1, 1-1 in conference play in the new-look Twin Cities Suburban, coming off a 9-8 loss against Roseville on Thursday when Andy Brunn took a home run away from Chad Drack in the 7th inning that could have tied the ball game. But let's take a look at the starting lineups tonight. First for the visiting Cardinals from Coon Rapids. Their lineup looks like this. Against Irondale starting pitcher Rich Seidenkrantz. It'll be John Young leading off. Young will be in right field today. Young, one of just 2 Cardinal players coming back that saw any playing time last year. He was a losing pitcher in one of the 2 Cardinal losses against Irondale last season during the regular year. Hitting second will be the center fielder Mike George. Hitting third, the designated hitter Josh Langfeld. Matt Tentner will be the first baseman. He'll hit fourth today, looking for his first hit of the season. Ben Fruland at third base hits fifth. Fruland had the big 2-run hit that won the game against Anoka on Thursday. He'll hit fifth. Sean Wilson behind the plate will hit sixth. Jason Flippin at shortstop hits 7th. Carl Ogren, the left fielder, hits 8th. And Brent Stanley up from the JV. He'll replace the injured Ben Sullivan in the lineup today, and he will be at second base. And on the mound for the Knights is Rich Seidenkrantz. Seidenkrantz making his 3rd appearance of the season today. He picked up a victory in relief in Irondale's win against White Bear Lake last week. Seidenkrantz 1-0 with a 2.33 ERA, and he's pitched only 3 innings this season. 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and a couple of strikeouts. I asked assistant coach Jeff Reinke about this start today for Seidenkrantz. He said, we're going with the staff today. So Seidenkrantz, who has appeared in both conference games, after getting the win against White Bear Lake, he appeared in relief against Roseville. And Seidenkrantz today will get the start. But look for the Knights to go deep into that rotation. Let's take a look at the Knights defensively. Joe Quick behind the plate, back for his 2nd year as a regular for this Irondale team. And Josh Guzzi, younger brother of 3-year regular Brian Guzzi, he's in at third base. Aaron Valley, perhaps the number 1 starter on the club, is at shortstop today. Paul Ludwig is at second base. Brian Sell at first base replaces Steve Ammonrud in the lineup today. And in the outfield, it's Chad Drack, 3-year starter Rob Ramaker in center, and Dave Campbell in right field. Some of the familiar names are gone from both of these teams. Last year they were the top 2 in Section 4AA. Cardinals, of course, won the state championship after losing to the Knights twice during the regular season in Jerry Coe's first season at the helm of the Cardinal program. They came back and beat them 6-5 in extra innings in one of the most dramatic high school baseball games we've seen here on KABL in the last couple of seasons, if not anywhere in the state. John Young stands in and swings and misses at the first offering from Seidenkrantz, and it's 0-1. Knights had beaten the Cardinals last year during the regular season, 11-3 at Coon Rapids, as Young takes inside for ball 1. And then beaten by them 13-7 at the Metrodome in a matchup of conference champions. Before then, the Cardinals won the most important meeting. 1-1. Seidenkrantz comes with a curveball and misses. Joe Erickson calling the balls and strikes. Gary Rover on the bases here this afternoon. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Young, and it's on the inside corner for a called strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Seidenkrantz takes a long look. It's senior catcher Joe Quick, and here's the 2-2. It's popped up. Foul ground down the right field line. Brian Sell has room, and makes the catch. One away for the Cardinals as leadoff man John Young is retired. Yeah, it drifted over his head apparently. Vision blocked here by the first base dugout, so Young's still alive. Young expected to see some duty on the mound this season for the Cardinals, although it hasn't come yet. And he comes up empty on that one. Seidenkrantz reared back and threw it past him. First strikeout of the game for Seidenkrantz, and John Young retired. And there's one away. It brings up Mike George, the Cardinal center fielder. George had 2 hits against Anoka. This Cardinal offense has been struggling, and that's an understatement. They haven't scored a run before the 6th inning yet this season. Battled a couple of tough pitchers, though. Off-speed pitch misses up high, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. They were shut down by Neil Carlson, and Forest Lake in their opener scored a run in the bottom of the 6th to take a 1-0 lead, but then lost it when the Rangers tallied 3 in the 7th against Nick Larson and beat them 3-1. They were the ralliers in their second game the very next day against Anoka's Tim Boland. Trailing 2-0, they rallied for 3 in the 7th and beat the Tornadoes 3-2 on a 2-run single by Ben Fruland. Here's the 3-1 to George. Fouled straight back, and it's now 3-2. So the Cardinals, who have scored just 4 runs in their first 2 games, battling an Irondale team that has really been hitting well in their first 3. Jim Coletti was worried about the offense of this Knight team, but they've scored 24 runs in their first 3 games. 3-2 misses high, and George is aboard on the walk. Cardinals have a base runner with 1 away. And now see what they try and do to move him around. The batter now is Josh Langfeld, designated hitter. Langfeld on the season looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 7. First one misses high and wide. George not moving at first. Mike George, an outstanding athlete. Has good speed, and the Cardinals may put him in motion here, try and manufacture a run. George not running, and Langfeld takes a strike, 1-1. Langfeld with a hefty wind behind him, blowing out to right field. And the Knights play him to pull. But Seidenkrantz can't find the strike zone, and it's 2-1. He's gone deep in the count to each of the first 2 hitters, and now he's behind Langfeld 2-1. George leads away from first. Throw over there, but he dives back in safely. A strikeout and a walk here in the top half of the first inning, and Langfeld tries to break the Cardinals on the board. Seidenkrantz misses again and is now behind 3-1. Matt Tenter on deck for the Cardinals. And he missed with that one outside. Second consecutive walk issued by Seidenkrantz, and Joe Quick will go to the mound. Try and settle down the young Irondale pitcher. Matt Tenter, first baseman for the Cardinals, stands in. Tenter 0 for 1 on the season. Hits in the cleanup spot today, and now Seidenkrantz asked Joe Quick to come back to the mound. He's struggling here in the first. Already has thrown 18 pitches and missed the zone with 10 of them. And his 2 walks put George at second, Langfeld at first with 1 away. Takes a look, checks the runners, curveball in the dirt, and Tentner waved at it. That's not what you'd like to see with a pitcher that has missed the zone with 10 out of 18 and has walked 2 guys in a row. Chases a curveball in the first offering and is now behind in the count, 0-1. Seidenkrantz delivers, and Tentner hits it high in the air, deep right center. Ramaker on the run. He can't get it. It's off the base of the wall. George had to hang on and wait and see if it would be caught. He scores. Langfeld at third. Tentner dives into second with a double, and he hit that one a mile into right center field. It's a hitter-friendly park here at Irondale if you hit it to left, but it takes a poke to reach the fence and right. And Tentner's RBI double puts the Cardinals on top 1-0. And the walks come back to haunt Seidenkrantz here in the top half of the first inning. The Knights pitchers were taught a lesson by Roseville about how walks can haunt you. And here's a line shot single by Fruland. Langfeld scores. Tentner being waved around third. He'll score. It's a 2-run single to center for Ben Fruland. And the Cardinals lead it 3-0. The 2 walks fatal for Seidenkrantz here in the first. In Irondale's 9-8 loss against Roseville on Thursday, they gave up 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th that gave Roseville the win. Both of the players that came around to score were put on base with a walk, and then Pat Carey doubled them both in. But Seidenkrantz gets himself in big trouble again here today with the walk. And the Cardinals lead it 3-0. Sean Wilson, the batter. And Seidenkrantz misses with a curveball. And he's now behind the Cardinal catcher. Wilson on the season 1 out of 4. Takes a strike. And it's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Jason Flippin waits on deck. Wilson, the 6th Cardinal to bat here in the top half of the first inning. Still only 1 out. And Seidenkrantz, who had given up just 1 hit and 1 run in 3 innings so far this season, has been tattooed here in the top of the first inning. Started high and stayed high. It's now 3-1. Wilson looks down at Jerry Coe, then digs back in. 3-1. Wilson had a good rip. Fruland was running with the pitch. And it's now a full count at 3-2. See if the Cardinals put Fruland in motion again. Fruland has already stolen 1 base this season. Gets a lead, not running. Wilson pops it up. It's off the end of the bat. And shortstop Aaron Valley drifts into short center. Makes the catch, and that's out number 2. It brings up Jason Flippin. Flippin on the season, 1 out of 6. He got a hit in his first at bat. And then has been retired 5 consecutive times. Had a base hit against Forest Lake, but was quickly erased when he rounded first base too far and was thrown out. Takes a strike and is behind in the count, 0-1. Curveball, and it just missed the outside edge. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fruland at first with 2 out. 3 runs in for the Cardinals here at the top of the first inning. Seidenkrantz delivers. Fruland bluffed running. It's a foul pop down the right field line, and it's off the top of the dugout. No play for Brian Sell. So Flippin now in a 1-2 hole. Looks down at Jerry Coe for the sign. But what a story for Jerry Coe. Thought he was going to be the freshman coach at Coon Rapids in a span of 2 weeks. Wound up as the varsity coach and won a state title in his first year. Throw down to first and diving back in just ahead of the throw was Fruland. And it's now 2-2. Close play at first base. Gary Rover ruling that Fruland just beat it. 2-2 curveball, and it just missed the outside corner. Tight strike zone from Erickson here in the top of the first. Three balls, two strikes. Fruland will be running with two out, and it's fouled back. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now the field umpire, Gary Rover, was holding up 2-2, but it is a full count. Jerry Coe checks on that. Fruland running, line drive, base hit center field, but Fruland will probably have to hang on at second. He didn't get a great jump off of first and didn't want to test the arm of Rob Ramaker. So despite the fact that he's running with the pitch, he has to stop at second. On the base hit to center by Jason Flippen. His second hit of the season, and the Cardinals have their third hit of the first inning. Carl Ogren will be the batter. 2 on, 2 out. First pitch is popped high in the air. Seidenkrantz coming over, has to drift back and handles the tough pop fly to end the inning, but the Cardinals score 3 on 3 hits, a couple of costly walks, and 2 runners left on. Half inning, Cardinals 3, Knights coming up. Cardinals had their hitting shoes on here in the top half of the first inning. They score 3 times with some help from Rich Seidenkrantz. 2 walks, and they are on top 3-0 as we head to the bottom half of the first inning. And let's take a look at the Irondale lineup that will face Jared Whelan today on the hill for the Cardinals. And the Knights lineup looks like this. Dave Campbell will lead it off, play right field for the Knights. Joe Quick, the catcher, hits second. Joe off to a good start this season, 5 out of 12. Hitting third will be the center fielder Rob Ramaker, who is on a torrid start of 7 out of 11, hitting at .636 coming into this game. Josh Guzzi, the third baseman, hits fourth. Aaron Valley at short will hit fifth. Chad Drack, who is struggling out of the blocks, just 1 out of 10. There you get a look at the night lineup. Drack hitting just 100 will hit sixth. Brian Sell at first base hits seventh. Paul Ludwig, the second baseman, hits eighth. And Rich Seidenkrantz, the pitcher who has put himself into a hole, will hit ninth. Jared Whelan on the mound for the Cardinals, making his first appearance of the season. Coon Rapids has had outstanding pitching so far. Nick Larson started in the season opener and pitched a fine ball game against Forest Lake, and then it was Sean Wilson doing a number on Anoka. The Cardinals have given up just 5 runs so far this season in their 2 ball games. And standing in is right fielder Dave Campbell for the Knights. Campbell on the season 6 out of 12, and 4 of those 6 hits have been doubles. The left-handed batter takes the strike. Cardinals defensively behind Mr. Whelan look like this. It's Wilson behind the plate, Fruland, Flippen, Stanley, and Tetner in the infield. Ogren, George, and Young in the outfield. There's a ground ball to third. Fruland bobbles and won't get the speedy Campbell. And on the error, the Knights have the leadoff man aboard. And Joe Quick, the Knights catcher, will stand in. Oh, could the Knights use a big season out of Joe Quick this season? Last year, Joe did a nice job behind the plate for the Knights, but wasn't much of a threat offensively. And here he hammers one that will go all the way to the wall in right center. Campbell rounding third. They'll wave him in. Quick will dig for third, and he's going to be in with a stand-up triple. Oh, it doesn't take the Knights long, and just like that, it's a 3-1 ball game on the RBI triple into right center field from Joe Quick. Campbell came all the way around from first to score on the play, and Quick, who batted just .261 last season and did not have a triple all year. Picks up a 3-base hit here. And the batter now is Rob Ramaker. And that one got away from Whelan for ball 1. Ramaker, a 3-year starter on this Irondale team. Last year led the team in home runs with 6, but struggled with the bat by his standards as he hit just .305. Hit .400 in conference games, but struggled outside of that. Takes down low, and he's now in a 2-ball, no-strike hole. Now it's 2-1. There's a chance for an easy RBI here with the runner at third, Joe Quick, nobody out. And Whelan trying to bear down and keep his team in front. Curveball, and Ramaker fouled it straight back. 2-2 the count. Ramaker so far on the season, 7 out of 11. 4 runs driven in. 4 doubles. Two high and tight, and it's now full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. He doesn't want to put Ramaker aboard and have to deal with his speed on the base paths. 3-2, missed low and in, and Ramaker draws a walk. And Whelan obviously didn't learn anything from the struggles in the top of the inning from Rich Seidenkrantz. And the batter now will be Josh Guzzi. The Knight third baseman, 4 out of 8 on the season. He's been walked 4 times. There's a good eye at the plate. Ramaker leads away from first, and Guzzi calls time. Ramaker leads the Knights in stolen bases with 3. Irondale as a team is 5 out of 6 running. Ramaker not going, and Guzzi takes a strike. Last year, Ramaker a bit of a disappointment. And now, the Knights will score as Quick comes in from third as the ball got away from Wilson. And Wilson throws his arms out in disgust. Watch it again. And the Knights have made it a 3-2 game. Guzzi's had a way of using that head this year. He was hit in the helmet with a pitch against Roseville on Thursday. Ramaker at second, nobody out. He's the tying run. Guzzi trying to drive him in. Whelan takes a long look, delivers, misses high and wide, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Whelan again checks the runner, and Guzzi fouled it off. Two balls, 2 strikes. Whelan peers in, trying to wriggle off the hook. Here's the pitch, curveball, started wide and stayed wide. The count again is full. And both pitchers having some problems finding the strike zone here in the first. Big pitch here for Whelan. 3-2. And he missed up high. Guzzi draws a walk for the 5th time this season. And now Aaron Valley will stand in, but first Wilson wants to visit with Mr. Wheeland. Valley last year for the Knights was a very pleasant surprise, both hitting and pitching wise. 8-0 with a 1.24 ERA as a pitcher, but many people overlook the fact that he hit .415. And his 34 hits were just one fewer than team leaders. Brian Guzzi. There's a fly ball to right. It is drifting, and it's a foul ball. Knights have 2 runners on, nobody out. Already 2 runs in here in the first. And Jared Wheeland trying to battle through this. Cardinals are looking for the bunt. Valley takes low and in. It's 1-1. First baseman Matt Tenner was racing up the right field line. I don't think Coletti will be asking Valley to turn around and lay one down here. He does. He squares to bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes it high. 2-1. Ramaker with good speed at second. Josh Guzzi, who runs fairly well at first. Here's the 2-1. Valley swinging away. Chopper to third. Fruland steps on the bag for one. Long throw to first. Got him. Double play. Nice play by Ben Fruland. He erased Ramaker at third and then made the long throw across the diamond. And Valley retired on the double play. Guzzi goes to second on the play. Watch it again. And the batter now is Chad Drack. Drack just 1 out of 10 on the season. And has a big chance to tie the game here in the bottom of the first. First one misses low and away, 1-0. Drack played a huge part in the Knights' 9-8 loss against Roseville Thursday. Had a chance to take away a home run early in the game. It tipped off his glove and went over the wall for a homer. This one goes to the fence, and Guzzi will move up to third on the wild pitch. And then, in the 7th, he hit the towering drive to left that Roseville left fielder Andy Brunn reached up and snatched from over the wall. Would have tied the game for the Knights. Here, all he needs is a base hit to plate Josh Guzzi with the tying run. Checks his swing, and it's 3 balls and no strikes. Drack had a good year for the Knights last season. And he takes a walk here. He's aboard. Runners are at the corners. It's the 3rd walk of the inning issued by Wheeland. And now see if the Knights play any games with the 1st and 3rd situation. Guzzi at 3rd, Drack at 1st. 2 out. And Brian Sell, the 7th batter of the inning for the Knights. Here's Wheeland's pitch, right down the middle for strike 1. Sell on the year, just 2 at-bats, 1 out of 2, a single and a strikeout. Wheeland's ready. He delivers, check swing, 1-1. Paul Ludwig, the number 8 hitter in the lineup, waits on deck. Cardinals got 3 in the top of the inning. Knights have come back with 2 already here in the bottom. And they're not finished yet. Runners at the corners, 2 out. Here's the pitch. Checked his swing, and it stays up high. 2 balls and 1 strike. The wind seems to be having some effect on the pitcher's control. Here's the 2-1. Runner goes from first. They will give him the base as Drack dives in head first. Wilson didn't want to make a throw and risk the tying run coming in from third. So they concede the base, 2 in scoring position. And Sell digs back in. Good pitch to hit for Mr. Sell. Here it comes. And it's down low. He draws a walk. 4 walks issued by Wheeland. He's faced 7 batters and walked 4 of them, and that is enough to bring a visit from Jerry Coe in the Cardinal dugout. Well, the Cardinals have had great pitching in their first 2 ball games. Wilson, who went all the way against Anoka, struck out 4, didn't walk anybody. And in the opener, Nick Larson went all the way and walked only 2. And the Knights, with the benefit of only 1 base hit here in the bottom of the first, and that was a triple by the second batter of the inning, Joe Quick. They have still managed to score twice and have the bases loaded. Campbell reached on an error to start the inning, and a couple of wild ones from Wheeland have added to the mix as well. Swing and a miss in the first offering by Paul Ludwig. And nothing in 1 the count. Ludwig on the season, 3 out of 9. 4 runs scored, 2 driven in. Chance to drive in a couple more here. The 0-1 on the outside corner, and it's 0-2. And for the first time in a long time, Wheeland has jumped ahead in the count. Bases loaded, 2 out. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swinging a pop-up. Shallow right center, drifting out as the second baseman Stanley, struggling with it, it drops in. 2 runs are in. On the bloop single by Ludwig, Sell stops at third, and Irondale leads at 4-3. And now, things just unraveling for the Cardinals, and Stanley comes over as if to apologize to Wheeland. Watch it again, and again you can see the effect the wind is having. This ball just keeps drifting. Stanley had to spin all the way around and never did catch up with it. Guzzi and Drack score on the play, and Irondale's on top 4-3. And the batter now is the 9th hitter of the inning, Rich Seidenkrantz. Wheeland's first pitch, line drive, base hit, left field. Sell trots in, Ludwig digging for third. The throw is off the line, and moving up to second base is Seidenkrantz, and the Knights lead it 5-3. Seidenkrantz jumped on the first pitch and just hammered it into left field. Then he took second on the throw into third. Third hit of the inning for the Knights. But again, it's the walks that kill Wheeland. If he hasn't loaded the bases with 3 walks, the bloop single by Ludwig isn't a big deal. Instead, that scores 2, and then the line shot by Seidenkrantz scores another. And the batter now is Dave Campbell for the second time. He started the inning with a ground ball to third that Fruland bobbled. Swings at this one that was high and away and popped it foul. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. In a very long bottom half of the first for Wheeland and the Cardinals. Here's the 1-1. Missed low and away, 2-1. Campbell digs back in. He's ready. Wheeland delivers. Fly ball slicing foul down the left field line and well out of the reach of Carl Argren. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2. It's high and away, and Campbell fights it off, stays alive. Campbell stepping into some big shoes at the top of this Irondale lineup and makes an interesting number selection as he picks the 9 worn by Mike Mislowski over the last couple of seasons. This one's not close. He takes it, and the count is now full. Ludwig at third, Seidenkrantz at second. 2 out, bottom of the first. Irondale has already scored 5 in the inning, and they lead 5-3. Wheelan delivers. Little looper, shallow center, and it falls in for a base hit. 2 runs will score as the throw comes all the way through, but Campbell elects to hang out at first. It was off the fists, and it dropped in front of Mike George for a 2-run single. The 3rd straight hit for the Knights. And the lead is now 7-3. Joe Quick will now bat for the 2nd time. Quick jumped on the first offering in the first inning. Or it is the first inning, his first time up rather. Jumped on the first offering from Wheeland and hammered it into right center for a triple. It scored Campbell with the first run of the inning, and then Quick later came around to score on a wild pitch by Wheeland that made it 3-2 at the time. Throw to first, and Campbell darts back. Campbell 1 stolen base on the year in his only attempt. And he swings and fouls this one back. Quick last year was prone to the strikeout a little bit. 13 strikeouts in 69 at-bats. But he's made good contact this year and has struck out only once. He bats here with Dave Campbell on at first and 2 out. Wheeland's curveball misses inside. 1-1 the count. The 11th batter of the inning for the Knights. All the Knights have done over the last couple of seasons is compile a 46-8 record. Down low. Of course, they won the Section 4 AA championship in '92 and advanced to the state tournament. And then last year had a perfect non-conference season, won another North Suburban championship, their 3rd in a row. And then were beaten by the Cardinals in the winner's bracket final. Couldn't come back. They were then eliminated by Stillwater in the very next game. Of course, one of the biggest ejections in high school baseball. Guzzi tried to steal home in that 6-5 loss and was thrown out of the game. Here's a fly ball into right center. Long run for George, but he's there, has it, makes the catch, and the side is finally retired. Knights score 7 in the bottom of the first inning, and at the end of 1, lead the Cardinals 7-3. used 4 base hits, 4 walks, and 1 cardinal error in the bottom half of the first inning, and score 7 times to lead Coon Rapids by a score of 7-3. After 1, they send 11 men to the plate, and we now move into the second inning, and Brent Stanley will make his first at-bat of the year for the Cardinals, and try and pick up on that for you in a moment. Seidenkrantz's first delivery is fouled straight back by Stanley, and it's 0-1. This one's popped up on the infield. Should be a play for Brian Sell. He has it, and the leadoff man retired. Jim Coletti was notifying the umpires about Mike Nelson in right field in place of Dave Campbell. And John Young, the batter. He takes high and tight from Seidenkrantz. Seidenkrantz in the first needed 35 pitches to escape the inning. Second one, grounded up the middle. Diving play by Valley, but he can't get it. And Young is aboard with a base hit. And Mike George will bat. Young picks up his 3rd hit of the season. Young just beats the throw. George bats and Josh Langfeld waits on deck for the Cardinals. Here in the second, they were outscored 7-3 in the first. George waves through that one. And 1-1 the count. Told you the Knights will travel to Stillwater on Thursday. The Cardinals will be at home against Roseville, a Raider team that beat them soundly last year. Cardinals won the Twin Cities Suburban Conference title last year, but they were 10-runned by the explosive Raiders at Roseville. Young with a lead, and they just about got him again as Sell applies the tag. One, 2 the count, and the pitch, high curveball, and George held off, 2-2. Cardinals will be looking to avenge that loss against the Raiders. The Raiders, one of only 2 teams in either side of the Twin Cities Suburban that are undefeated. As George ropes this one down the left field line over the head of Josh Guzzi. It's a base hit for George, his 3rd hit of the year. And the heart of the order now, 3, 4, and 5. Langfeld to be followed by Tentner and Fruland. First one misses for ball 1. Cardinals now with 5 hits in the ball game, 2 more coming here in the second inning. Here's the pitch, and Langfeld wraps it foul down the left field line. Langfeld walked and scored his first time. Seidenkrantz takes a look and delivers a curveball that misses wide, 2-1. This may very well be the final inning of work for Seidenkrantz as the Knights plan to use several anyway, and with his pitch count climbing as rapidly as it is, we may not see him in the third. Swing and a miss by Langfeld. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Young at second, George at first. Good speed on the base paths for the Cardinals. Fly ball left field. Drack started back, now comes in and makes the catch, and that's out number 2. And it'll be up to Matt Tentner. First pitch, curveball, and he swings and misses. 0-1 the count. The runners lead from first and second, and the fastball. Tentner can't catch up with it. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Seidenkrantz trying to get out of the inning with no damage, and his curveball misses. 1-2. Seidenkrantz mixing things up a little, hoping Tentner would chase the wide curveball. He doesn't. It's 1-2. If he can keep it going, Ben Fruland would hit. The 1-2 pop foul, back and out of play. No chance for Joe Quick. Count remains 1-2. Here's the pitch from Seidenkrantz, and Tentner stays alive. And the count remains 1-2. Young at second, George at first after their back-to-back singles with one out in the inning. Langfeld couldn't move him over, and now Tentner tries to drive him in. Line drive right center, but Ramaker is there, has it for out number 3. Tentner hit it hard, but in the neighborhood of Ramaker in center field. Inning and a half, Knights 7, Cardinals 3. Knights on top, 7-3. All the runs coming in the first inning as we move into the bottom of the second. On a great afternoon for baseball here, of course, by Minnesota standards. Temperature in the middle 50s, but an awfully strong wind blowing out to right field. And you've seen the effects it has had on both teams already. Pitchers have struggled with their control so many times, particularly here at Irondale for some reason. The wind seems to affect pitchers' breaking balls more here than in most parks. And anytime a pitcher throws into the wind, they'll tell you that it holds their ball up and allows it to break just a little bit more. And the pitchers have been struggling with that, but the fielders as well. We've seen a couple of pop-ups that infielders couldn't handle. Ramaker leads off the Irondale second after the Knights sent 11 men to the plate in the first. And Ramaker takes a strike. He walked his first time. Curveball, and it's in for a strike. Ramaker backs up. He knew that one caught the inside edge. And he's now at an 0-2 hole. Wheeland, another curveball. Ramaker off the fist to third. Fruland gobbles it up and throws him out. And Ramaker's retired as Wheeland dropped down and came about 3/4 on that one. But the curveball's on the inside edge, set it up. And Ramaker had to get defensive, down 0-2. Batter now, Josh Guzzi. Josh walked and scored in the first. Again, he drops down and comes with a sidearm curveball that misses. And it's 1-0. Aaron Valley waits on deck. And Wheeland delivers 1-0. Comes over the top, misses high. 2-0. And it's inside, now it's 3-0. And again, pitchers have trouble finding the zone against Mr. Guzzi, who walked for the 5th time this season. His first time up. 3-0 pitch is over, and it's now 3-1. And is a pitch away from walking for the 6th time right here. Here's the 3-1 from Wheeland. It's a ground ball, knocked down, but no play for flipping it short, and it'll be an infield hit for Josh Guzzi. Flippin showing good range, got to the ball, but even if he fields that cleanly, he has no play. Watch it again. And the batter with one away, Aaron Valley. Valley hit into a double play in the first inning. He was the only batter that Wheeland retired the first time through the order. Missed low, and it's 1-0. And Valley hit the ball on the nose, but right at Fruland at third base. He was able to step on third and retire Ramaker and throw to first to turn the double play. Misses inside. 2-0 the count. Good pitch to hit for Valley with 2 out, or with 2-0 rather. 1 out, Guzzi at first. Wheeland's ready. Here it is. It's low and away, 3-0. And for the second batter in a row, Wheeland finds himself in a 3-0 hole. Miss low, and that is walk number 5 given by Wheeland here today. And now 2 runners on for Chad Drack. As the Knights try and add to a 4-run lead, they're on top 7-3 here, bottom of the second inning. And the Knights, thus far anyway, have continued the regular season mastery over the Cardinals. Beat them twice last year by a combined 24-10. Sidearm curve is in for a strike, and Drack is down 0-1. Drack walked and scored in the first. And this one hit him. Drack hit by the pitch, and the bases are loaded. Conference at the mound now between Wilson and Wheeland. And Wheeland's line is starting to get uglier and uglier. The bases are full of Knights with 1 out for Brian Sell. Sell also walked and came around to score his first time, takes a strike. It was the bottom of the order doing serious damage to Wheeland in the first. He had 2 outs, and then he walked the 6 and 7 men, Drack and Sell, and gave up hits to the 8 and 9 men, Ludwig and Seidenkrantz. And that put him in the spot where he had to pitch to leadoff man Dave Campbell. And Campbell dumped a 2-run single into center. They really broke the game open, 5-3, although 5 runs in the first is certainly not where you'd like to be. 5-3, you're very much in the ballgame. Instead, it's 7-3, and now the Knights here are a big hit from Brian Sell away from breaking this game wide open. And the pitch to Sell. And it's now 3-1 against Brian Sell. And you have to start to wonder now how long Jerry Coe will stick with Wheeland. Swing and a miss. And that was a big pitch for Wheeland. It's now 3-2. 1 away. Wheeland works from the windup with the bases full. Ground ball to third, and it's off the hip of Fruland. He gobbles it up in time, but does not have time to make a play. And the bases remain loaded. It's now 8-3 as Josh Guzzi comes in to score. Second error of the game for the Cardinal third baseman. And the bases remain loaded now for Paul Ludwig. And the first pitch from Wheeland is grounded, base hit, left field. Cardinals had Fruland playing in on the grass, and Ludwig hammered it past him. Runners move up one base. Valley comes in to score, and the Knights lead 9-3. And now Jerry Cole will come to the mound. And with his team down by 6, he will go to the bullpen and bring in right fielder John Young. Josh Langfeld, who was the designated hitter, will enter and play right field. So Wheeland's day is done with a pitching change. We'll take a break. Back at Irondale in a moment. This is Twin Cities Suburban Conference Baseball on KABL. Sell would have scored anyway on the play, but It's the error by Flippin that allows the runners to go to third and then score. So 2 errors on the play for the Cardinals, and they have now committed 4 in the ball game. 1-2 the count to Joe Quick, who's 1 out of 2 with a triple and a fly ball to center. Pop foul, and the count remains 1-2. Knights with 5 more runs here in the second inning, and they now lead it 12-3. Bases loaded, 2 out, and they clear the bases on a ground ball to second. Curveball from Young, and Quick goes down on strikes, so Young comes in and does a nice job. He strikes out 2 of the 3 he faces, but Irondale scores 5 more. At the end of 2, Knights 12, Cardinals 3. We have played only 2, and those numbers are correct. Cardinals 3 runs, 5 hits, 4 errors. They've left 4 runners on. The Knights 12 runs on 6 hits. They were helped by 5 walks from Wieland and the 4 Cardinal errors. And they are on top by 9, 12-3. Ben Fruland, the batter, and he takes a curveball that misses for ball 1. Rich Seidenkrantz back out for his 3rd inning of work for the Knights. And Fruland swings and hits this one high in the air, deep center. Ramaker's back, it's over his head and all the way to the wall. Fruland will coast into second with a double, and the Cardinals have the leadoff man aboard. 2nd hit of the game for Fruland, and the 6th for the Cardinals. And Fruland continues to swing a hot bat here in the early stages for the Cardinals, as he's now 4 out of 6 on the season for Coon Rapids. And the batter now is catcher Sean Wilson. Wilson popped to short his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Line drive, base hit center field, and the Cardinals will hold Fruland at 3rd. Down by 9, no sense running yourselves out of an inning, and Wilson hammered that one to center. And that's 7 hits for the Cardinals against Seidenkrantz in just 2+ innings. And now Jason Flippin, the batter. Flippin had an RBI single his first time up. He's 1 for 1. Oh, up high. Flippin tried to check the swing but couldn't, and he's behind in the count 0-1. Seidenkrantz needed 55 pitches to get through the first 2 innings. Of course, nowhere near the 65 that Wieland needed to get through just an inning and a 3rd. Carl Ogren waits on deck. Curveball misses high, and Seidenkrantz now in a 2-1 hole. Well, when you're up by 9 runs, just throw it over the plate and hope for the best. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. Flippin was behind it. 2-2 the count, nobody out. Ben Fruland at 3rd, Sean Wilson aboard at first base. We're in the top of the 3rd from Irondale, and the Knights lead at 12-3. Runner went from first, and Flippin hammered it back. Count remains 2-2. You get the feeling that today no lead is safe. Here's the pitch, curveball high, runner going, they throw through and got him. Oh, what a throw from Joe Quick behind the plate. It was right on the money, and he had Wilson. Well, he got him by a good 2 or 3 steps. Jeremy Hetwer was the courtesy runner for the Cardinals, and He was gunned down easily. One away, and now here's two as Flippin goes down on strikes. So how quickly this inning changes. Cardinals had runners at the corners, nobody out. A caught stealing and a strikeout, and now Frulin's at third with two out. And Seidenkrantz can work from the windup. Curveball in the dirt. Nice block by Joe Quick, saves a run. Ogren popped up to the pitcher his first time. High, and it's now 2-0. Brent Stanley, the second baseman, waits on deck. That one's high as well, and it's 3-0. Seidenkrantz walked two in the first inning. And although he's been hit hard and has been a little bit wild, those are the only two that he's walked until right now as he walks Ogren. So now runners at the corners again, but this time they're with two out. And the batter is Brent Stanley. Stanley popped out to first in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. As the Cardinals complete their second time through the batting order. Ooh, Stanley took that one for a strike. Couldn't believe it. It was up over the belt. Top of the order, and John Young on deck. Now it's 1-1. The Knights would love to see Seidenkrantz get through this third inning and possibly continue as long as you're up by 9. Curveball misses, and it's 2-1. Fruland at third. He led off the inning with a double. Went to third on a single by Wilson, but Cardinals haven't been able to move him in. Now it's 3-1. Carl Ogren's on at first after his two-out walk. 3-1 is right down the middle. It's 3-2. Stanley, who made his first varsity at bat in the second inning and popped out to first. Ground ball up the middle, and it is through for a base hit. In to score on the play is Fruland. Stopping at second is Ogren, but that one barely had enough steam on it to get through the infield. But it's an infield hit for Stanley, and it drives in a run for the Cardinals. And it's now 12-4. Watch this one. This one barely makes it to the grass before it just runs out of gas. And now John Young has a chance to take a bite out of the lead. Takes inside for ball one. He struck out of the first and then singled to center in the second inning. 2 on, 2 out for the Cardinals here in the third. Takes it for a strike, 1-1. Reached for it and fouled it back. 1-2 the count. Young was 2 for 3 with a double against Anoka on Thursday. After starting out the season 0 for 3 against Forest Lake last Wednesday. Takes high and tight, 2-2 the count. 2-2 with 2 out. Ogren on at second, Stanley on at first. And the Cardinals could really use a base hit from Young here. Here's the pitch. This one's hit well into left center. Ramaker will never get there. Ogren rounds third. He will score. Stanley coasts into third on an RBI single by Young. And it's now a 12-5 ball game. Ramaker was playing Young to go the other way. And Young lined it into left center. Watch how far Ramaker has to come. By the time he cuts it off, Ogren has scored easily, and now that caught stealing looms awfully large. Wilson would have easily scored by now, and we'd be talking about runners at the corners, 1 out, And a 12-6 game. Instead, it's 12-5, runners at the corners and 2 out. George takes that one, and it's now 1-1. George walked and scored in the first, then singled in the second inning. Hits this one high in the air, deep to left, but it's in the park. Chad Drack has it measured, makes the catch, and the side retired. Cardinals get 2, but after 2.5, they still trail by a touchdown. It's 12-5 Irondale. 12-5 in favor of the Knights. Cards have out hit them 9-6. But are on the short end, the only place that really matters. Down by 7, John Young, who came on in relief of Jared Wieland in the second inning, will now face Ramaker, Guzzi, and Valley here in the Knights half of the third. Irondale has batted around in each of the first 2 innings. They sent 11 men to the plate in the first and then 9 more in the second. And I told you this offense had really come to life when the season opened. And they have scored 24 runs in their first 3. Set a school record for runs a couple of years ago with the team that hit over 30 home runs, setting a school record in that department as well. Ramaker, a big part of that team. Today, he has been the only member of this Irondale team that has not been a part of the offense. He's the only player that has not scored a run. He walked and grounded to third. He's 0 for 1. Pop foul. Two balls and a strike. The count against the Irondale center fielder. Ground ball up the middle and a base hit for Ramaker. So Rob has his first hit of the day, and number 7 for the Knights. First one off of Young. And Josh Guzzi, who has reached twice and scored twice. A walk in the first and an infield hit in the second. He bats now, see if the Knights put Ramaker in motion. Ramaker 3 out of 3, stealing bases so far this year. Guzzi swings, base hit right field. Ramaker takes a big turn and will hang on at second base. Base hit to right by Guzzi on the first pitch, his second hit. And Young trying to keep his team somewhat in this ball game. They just got 2 back in the top of the inning, but he's in danger of handing them right back to the Knights here in the bottom half, with Ramaker at second, Guzzi at first, nobody out, and Aaron Valley to bat. Young delivers at the knees for strike 1. Valley grounded into a third to first double play in the first inning, then walked and scored in the second. Squares to bunt and fouled it off. And it's now 0-2. Same situation. The Knights had Valley swing away once, then try and bunt in the first inning, and then gave him the green light to swing away, and he grounded out to third. Valley, one of 2 returning all-conference players for the Knights from last season. He and Rob Ramaker, along with Brian Guzzi, Mike Mislowski, and Bill Quick, named to the North Suburban All-Conference team. It's a new year for the Knights, having won 3 straight North Suburban titles and having gone 26-2 in the conference over the last 2 years. Only a rough early week last year when they lost games to both Mounds View and Centennial in the same week. The only two losses the Knights suffered in that North Suburban over the last 2 years, but this year it's the Twin Cities Suburban. And oh, does this look like it is going to be an outstanding race this year. Talk a little bit more about it as we progress here today and throughout the year, but the teams in each league will play everybody once in both divisions, 13 conference games. Here's the pitch, low and away, 2-2. So you won't see anyone twice until the very last game, and then they'll power rate them. The top team in the East plays the top in the West, second plays second, third plays third, and so on down the line. Here's Young's pitch. Ramaker running. Valley pops it up. He better hustle back. This may be a double play. Stanley has it. No chance to get Ramaker. And there's one away. But Ramaker took off, assuming on his own, because Young never checked him. He broke for third. Guzzi was staying put at first. The runners are at first and second with one out. Low and in and ball one against Drac. Told you that Drac was struggling. 1 out of 10, but he's found his way aboard twice here today and has scored both times. And it hit him again. Drac is hit for the second time. And the bases are now loaded. It's not like he's an opposing target up there. Cardinal pitchers just had a knack of finding him with a baseball so far today. So now the bases are loaded for Brian Sell. He came up with the sacks jammed in the second inning and reached safely on an error by third baseman Ben Fruland. Here they're loaded up with one out in the third. Young from the windup delivers a curve low and away, 1-0. Paul Ludwig waits on deck as the bottom of the night order has a chance to continue an outstanding day. The 6, 7, and 8 hitters, Drac, Sell, and Ludwig, have combined to score 6 times and drive in 3. Ramaker thought about breaking to the plate but hangs on. And Young is behind in the count 2-0, and he now needs to come with most likely some heat down the middle for Sell, because no place to put him with the bases loaded. Doesn't want to get cute and risk the wild pitch that would give him a run. And Sell should get a pretty good pitch to hit. Cardinals play him straight away and shallow in left and right field. Center fielder George is fairly deep. On the inside edge, and it's 2-1. That was a big strike for Young. 2-1 the count. Cardinals pull the infield in at the corners. They'll try and turn the double play up the middle. Here's the 2-1. Sell swings and fouls it straight back. 2-2 the count. Young's ready, and here comes his 2-2. Curveball, and he got him looking. Ramaker dives back into third, and Brian Sell goes down looking with the bases loaded and one away. Third strikeout for Young, and a great job of pitching there as he battled back from a 2-0 hole. And here's Ludwig. Ludwig blooped a single into shallow right that Stanley couldn't find. Drac took off from first as if he was going to steal second. Bases are loaded. Trika turns to him and says, "Where exactly were you going?" Here's the pitch to Ludwig. Ludwig jumped away, and it's called a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Watch this one again. As Ludwig jumps away. Not even close to him. Ramaker's coming. The pitch is high, and he is in there. And now it's been called a balk. So Ramaker is safe anyway and will not get credit for the steal of home, but very close play at the plate. But a balk was called, so Ramaker is safe at home. The other runners move up. And the count remains 1-1. It is no pitch. Well, I don't know if Ramaker would have been called safe or not at the plate. It was very close. At any rate, it is still 1-1 to Ludwig. Runners at second and third. Curveball called strike 2. And the Knights are now on top 13-5. Here's the pitch. Line drive right field. Tough play, no play for Langfeld. 2 runs will score on the play. Ludwig digging for third. And he will stand up with a 2-run triple in the bottom of the order. Strikes again for the Knights. Ludwig's triple drives home Guzzi and Drack, and Irondale now leads it 15-5. And here's Rich Seidenkrantz, and Seidenkrantz is hit with a pitch. That's the third batter the Cardinal pitchers have hit today. Second one hit by Young here this inning. And Seidenkrantz will now be replaced with a courtesy runner. He's still pitching. Young looks over with a smile on his face at first base. Runners on at the corners for the Knights with 2 out. Ludwig at third after his triple, and the courtesy runner Ethan Leeser on at first. Here's Young's pitch. Ground ball to short. Flipping to Stanley. Inning over. And for the first time in the game, the Knights don't bat around. They hit only 8 that inning. They score 3, and at the end of 3, it's Irondale 15, Coon Rapids 5. Irondale adds 3 more to the lead, and at the end of 3 complete, they're on top by 10. Knights 15, Cardinals 5 as we head to the top half of the 4th inning. And it'll be Langfeld, Tentner, and Fruland to bat for the Cardinals here in the 4th against Rich Seidenkrantz. Bottom of the order continues to excel for Irondale. The bottom 4 hitters in their order have now scored 8 runs for the Knights. And they've driven in 5. Ludwig added to that with his 2-run triple. He's now driven in 4 and has 3 hits in the ballgame. Langfeld swings and misses, and it's strike 1 against the Cardinal designated hitter who walked and scored in the first inning and then flew to left in the second. Seidenkrantz delivers. Curveball is in the dirt. 1-1. Cardinals have had some chances. They've racked up 9 hits in the ballgame, but they've left 6 runners on, 2 in each inning. And they've also had a runner caught stealing. Of course, they have put 5 runs on the board through 3. Curveball misses high and wide, and this from an offense that had scored only 4 runs in their first 2 games. Only Park Center had scored fewer runs than the Cardinals in either division of the league coming into play today. Here's a base hit to center by Langfeld, and the Cardinals have their 10th hit. It's a season high for hits for Coon Rapids, as they had only 6 hits against Anoka on Thursday and had only 3 hits in their opener against Forest Lake last Wednesday. So they more than doubled their season total here today. Tentner swings and hits it high in the air, shallow center. Ramaker ranging to his left has it, and there's one away. Tentner retired for the 2nd time in a row after an RBI double in the first. And Ben Fruland, who has been torrid this season for the Cardinals, 4 out of 6 thus far, and is 2 for 2 today. An RBI single in the first and a double in the third. He bats with Langfeld at first and 1 away. Had a good rip, but fouled it straight back. Cardinals got 3 in the top of the first. Knights came back with 7 in the bottom of the inning to lead 7-3. Irondale then added 5 in the bottom of the second to go up 12-3. Curveball, Fruland reaches out, drives it to left, but Drack is there. 2 out. Cardinals then got 2 in the top of the third to make it 12-5, but Irondale with 3 in the bottom of the inning opened it back up to 15-5, and it's beginning to look more and more like a slow-pitch softball game. 2 out, Langfeld at first. And Seidenkrantz just trying to throw the thing over the plate and let his fielders do the work from here on out. Pitch count up for Seidenkrantz. He had thrown 83 through the first 3 innings. Knight's just happy that he's saving some wear and tear on the rest of the staff. What a play by Valley, and he got him. Aaron Valley ranging behind second base. Makes a fine play and retires Wilson. Side retired, no runs, a hit, and a man left. Cards have left 7. We've played 3.5. Irondale 15, Coon Rapids 5. John Young takes the hill for the Cardinals, and he will try and hang a 0 for the first time. The Knights have scored at least 3 runs in every inning. 7 in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the third, and they've sent at least 8 men to the plate in every inning. Here it'll be Quick, Ramaker, and Guzzi. Each will be hitting for the 4th time. Quick on the day, got the Knights started. Remember, they were down 3-0 when they came to the plate in the bottom of the first inning, and after Dave Campbell reached on an error, Quick hammered a triple into right center that scored Campbell from first, and then he came in to score on a wild pitch. Flew to center later in the inning and struck out in the second inning, so he is 1 out of 3. He was the only man who didn't get to bat in the Irondale third. Takes one up high for ball 1. Young delivers 1-0. Pop up, foul, third base side. Fruland over for a look, but no chance. A nice catch by a fan. Ran over a little kid to get there, but drew a roar from the crowd. And Young gets set to deliver to Quick. Young, who came on in relief of Wieland in the second inning. Wieland was charged with the first 12 Irondale runs. Only 5 of them earned. Young has been charged with 3 all earned on 3 hits thus far. That one was called a strike. Quick shakes his head as Wilson had to dig it out of the dust. 1-2 the count. Ramaker on deck, Guzzi to follow. Here's Young's pitch, curveball, quick checked his swing, and he can't believe it. Not sure Quick could have reached that one. He's down on strikes for the 2nd time in the game. Watch this one again. Big bender and outside by several inches. 4th strikeout for Young. And Ramaker takes ball 1. So Young gets a gift strikeout to start the inning. And now comes inside with a fastball that Ramaker spins away from. 2-0 the count. Ramaker has walked, grounded to third, and then singled. Came in to score in the 3rd inning as he broke for the plate, attempting to steal home, and Young was called for a balk. Curveball, started up, stayed up, 3-0. So Ramaker officially 1 out of 2 today and 8 out of 13 for the season. There's the pitch right down the middle for a strike. Young hasn't walked anybody. He's hit 2, but he hasn't walked any. And has struck out 4. Fastball, and Ramaker had a good rip at it, but chops it foul. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. Here's the 3-2 from Young, and Ramaker fouled that off. Over toward his own dugout. And the count remains 3-2. And then draws a walk as Young misses low and away. 2nd walk issued to Ramaker, the 1st by Young. But that's 6 walks by the Cardinal pitchers here today. Ramaker's aboard, and the batter now is Josh Guzzi. See if Ramaker has any thoughts of running. The Cardinals won't even hold him on as Tentner plays behind him at first base. Cardinals apparently confident that the Knights are not going to be running with a 10-run lead here in the bottom of the 4th. Ramaker has a good lead. He's running, and Wilson's throw is nowhere near in time as it misses high and wide. Ramaker has his 4th stolen base of the season, and he's in scoring position for Josh Guzzi. Cardinals almost seemed like they were inviting Ramaker to run with Tentner playing behind him. And Guzzi takes a strike. 1-2 the count. Guzzi so far of the day walked, singled, and has scored all 3 times. Ramaker leads from second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Guzzi swings and lines a hit to center field. Ramaker being waved in around third. He will try and score. Tentner cuts it off, goes to second, and not in time to get Guzzi. It would have been a close play at the plate had Tentner let the ball go through. He cut it off, but then hesitated before he went to second, and that made the cutoff worthless because it allowed Guzzi to reach second base anyway. Watch it again. Here's Ramaker coming around third. You see Tentner cut it off, but then he hesitated before he threw to second. If he goes to second right away, Guzzi's a dead duck. The RBI single by Guzzi is his 3rd hit of the day and the 10th for the Knights. Ground ball, and it's off the hip of Fruland. Guzzi will reach 3rd. Another error against the Cardinal third baseman. And that's his 3rd error of the ball game. So the Knights now have runners at the corners. And Chad Drack will apparently be lifted for a pinch hitter here. Ryan Lesker, pinch hit for Aaron Valley there on that last at bat. Knights on top by 11 runs, 16-5. And now Steve Payne will come on and pinch hit. He will hit for Drack. And that's probably a good way out for Drack, who was hit with 2 pitches by the Cardinals here today. It's no further punishment for that Irondale left fielder. Curveball, swing and a miss by Payne, 0-1. Knights get a look at a couple of their bench players here. Guzzi at 3rd, Lesker at 1st, 1 away. 1 run already in here in the 4th. And the Knights on top by 11. 0-1 pitch is fouled straight back. Young's ready. Here's his 0-2 pitch to Payne. Swing and a miss. Young got him on strikes. That's 5 strikeouts for Young in just 2 innings of work. 2 1/3 innings, actually. But he struck out 5. And Brian Sell will hit. Sell walked, reached on an error, and struck out looking. 0 for 2 officially. Big bender from Young, and it's in for a strike. Ethan Leeser is out on deck for the Knights. He will apparently bat for Ludwig. That, of course, assuming that Sell can keep the inning alive. Josh Guzzi at 3rd, Ryan Lesker aboard at 1st. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Two out in the Irondale 4th. Curveball is fouled straight back. And it's now 1-2. Knights have, of course, eclipsed their season high for runs and done that by a wide margin. They scored 9 in their opener against North St. Paul, 7 against White Bear, and then 8 against Roseville. But here today, 16. Lesker goes from first. Sell lifts one in the air to right. Langfeld battling the sun, and he manages to make the catch on what turned out to be a tough play. Knights get only 1 here in the 4th on a hit, an error, and they leave 2 at the end of 4. Irondale 16, Coon Rapids 5. The Knights on top, 16-5, 10 hits for each side, but 7 runners left on by the Cardinals and 5 errors for the Redbirds here today. Ethan Leeser has entered the game at second base. He'll replace Paul Ludwig. The other substitutes have all re-entered. Aaron Valley at short, Chad Drack in left. Flippin lines one to center. that lands in front of Rob Ramaker for a base hit, and the Cardinals have their 11th hit. One thing that Coach Jerry Coe and company can take away from Irondale here today is the fact that, hey, they finally got the hitting shoes on. And Rich Seidenkrantz, who they were going to give the opportunity to finish things off, will now be lifted after the leadoff hit by Flippin. So Seidenkrantz goes 4 innings plus with the pitching change. We'll step aside. We're in the 5th. Knights by 11. Back with more from Irondale in just a moment. Chad Ritter will be the new Irondale pitcher. Ritter appearing, he's thrown 4 innings so far this season. His last time out was when he started against Roseville on Thursday, and he was hit hard in 2 innings, 5 runs on 3 hits. He will come in now and try and finish things off for the Knights. Seidenkrantz pitched well for Irondale, gave up 3 in the first and then settled down. He went 4 1/3, gave up 11 hits, but just 5 runs, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Threw 93 pitches, 55 for strikes. And he will now face a pinch hitter. Brad Riss will hit for the Cardinals. Riss does not have an official at bat this year, but has outstanding speed. He came in as a pinch runner, stole a base, scored a run against Anoka, and he hammers this one that goes by Ramaker and all the way to the wall. Flippin rounds third, he will score, and the Cardinals are back within 10 at 16-6. Riss with an RBI double. And in his first at bat of the season, he drills the Cardinals' 12th hit of the ball game. And that closes the book on Seidenkrantz. He's charged with all 6 runs. And Riss's RBI double now brings another pinch hitter to the plate, Nick Larson. Larson was 0 for 3 against the Tornadoes, but did have a sacrifice fly that scored their first run of the ball game. Struck out twice in the game. Larson was the starting pitcher in their opener against Forest Lake and went all the way. Swing and a miss. Missed that one. Larson on the season 0 for 6. 3 strikeouts in those 6 at-bats. He bats here with Riss at second. Takes that one for a ball. 1-1 the count. I was talking with Coach Jerry Coe before the game. He said, you know, I'd really like to get Larson a couple of swings with this wind to right. You know, I'd like to get an extra left-handed bat in there, but I don't think this was how he was hoping to do it, down by 10 runs. Riss leads from second, and the pitch on the inside edge for a called strike 2. 2-2 the count. Leadoff man John Young waits on deck for the Cards. Nobody out, top of the 5th. Knights lead at 16-6. Ritter takes a long look and delivers. Missed badly. Larson draws a walk. 2 runners on, nobody out, and the Cardinals try and claw their way back into the ball game. Now, base umpire Gary Rover having a few words with Chad Ritter. Ritter looks in for the sign. He's ready and delivers. Swing and a miss by Young. Young on the day a strikeout victim in the first, but then grounded a single up the middle in the second and lined a single to left in the third that scored a run. 2 out of 3 for John, now with 4 hits on the year. Ritter's pitch, curveball misses away, 1-1. Mike George, center fielder, waits on deck. Josh Langfeld will follow if the Cardinals can continue the rally here in the 5th. Wrist bluffs going. Ritter nearly takes the helmet off of John Young. 2-1 the count. Wrist at second, Larson at first, and the 2-1 is high and tight. 3-1 the count. And Ritter struggling out of the pen for the Knights. Gave up a double to Riss and then walked Larson. Now he's gone 3-1 against Young. 3-1 pitch is hammered to right field. Going back is Nelson. It's over his head, off the wall on a hop. Young will have 2 bases. Riss comes in to score. They'll wave Larson around third. Leeser's throw to the plate is not nearly in time. A 2-run double for John Young. And the Cardinals have scored 3 in the inning, and it's now 16-8. Young now with 3 RBI in the ballgame on 3 hits. And the second double of the inning for the Cardinals. George swings, grounds one to third. Guzzi smothers, throws to first and got him. Boy, Brian Sell looked a little shaky with the footwork over at first, but manages to get the out. George is retired, first out of the inning. When he hit that one on the nose. Josh Langfeld, big left-hander, will be the batter. Langfeld on the day, a walk, a fly to left, and a base hit. Young leads from second, and Langfeld takes the strike. All of Langfeld's at-bats coming against the starter, Rich Seidenkrantz. He faces Ritter for the first time here in the 5th. Young wanders away from second. Here's the pitch. Inside, 1-1. Cardinals have scored 3. First one charged to Seidenkrantz. The next 2 assigned to Ritter. He misses with that. That's 2-1. And their lead has now been shaved down to 8 runs. It's the Knights 16, Cardinals 8. We're in the 5th. Here's the 2-1. Inside, 3-1. Cleanup man Matt Tenner waits on deck. Ritter 3-1 to Langfeld. Took it for a strike, 3-2. Langfeld is ready and waves through that one. Strikeout for Ritter. Langfeld upset with himself as he heads back to the dugout. He's had a couple of defensive swings up there. Hasn't really used the strong wind blowing out to right to his advantage today. Matt Tenner has. He roped a double into right center his first time up, but then flew to center in the 2 at-bats since. He's 1 out of 3. 2 out now, Young at second, and Tenner waves through a curveball. Missed it badly, 0-1. Well, he was looking fastball there. He swung a good 4 or 5 inches over the top of that one. Ritter's pitch misses wide, 1-1. Ritter apparently has settled down after being tattooed when he first came into the ball game. Gave up a double to Riss, walked Larson, then a double to Young. But he settled down and retired George and Langfeld, and now deals to Tenner with 2 out. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Knights are scheduled to have Leeser, Seidenkrantz, and Nelson batting in the 5th. We may see Ludwig re-enter and lead off the inning. Here's the 1-2. Tenner fouls it back. No play for Quick. Cardinals with 3 here in the inning. They also had 3 in the first, 2 in the third. Knights with 7 in the first, 5 in the second, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Here's the pitch. Tenner swings and drives one into left. You don't hit it any harder than that. He hit it too hard, so the Young's not able to score on the play. He has to stop at third. That ball got out to Chad Drack in a hurry. And the batter now is red-hot Ben Fruland. 2 out of 3, a single that drove in a run in the first, and then a double, and he scored in the third. Flew to left in the fourth. Runners at the corners with 2 out. Ritter's first pitch is inside, 1-0. It's the third hit surrendered by Ritter here in his 2/3 of an inning. 14th hit of the game for the Cardinals. They've out-hit the Knights 14-10. Swing and a miss by Fruland. It's 1-1. Here's Ritter's pitch. Slow curve, called strike 2. 1-2 the count. Fruland was the late inning hero in the 3-2 win against Sunoco. See if he can get something going for the Cardinals here. Missed up high. Of course, he'd need to have a 9-run single here. Haven't seen too many of those. Ritter's pitch. Tried to back out of the way and check the swing. The count is full. Sean Wilson will bat if Fruland can keep it going. Young at third, Tenner at first. Tenner will be running with the pitch on 3-2 with 2 out. Ritter delivers. Fruland swings and misses. Quick tracks it down and will retire him at first. And the side is finally retired. Cardinals score 3. And we head to the bottom of the 5th. Knights on top, 16-8. Knights lead the Cardinals by 8 as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. It is 16-8 in favor of Irondale, and Ethan Leeser will lead things off. He'll be followed by Seidenkrantz and Mike Nelson. Leeser making his first at-bat of the season. He'll hit against John Young, who's back out there. He came on in relief of Wheeland way back in the 2nd inning with 1 out. He's gone 2 2/3 of relief thus far, and has been charged with the last 4 Irondale runs. And of course, it's relatively speaking when you say that he's pitched well. Wheeland was charged with a dozen in an inning and a third. Leeser, who started his high school career at Totino Grace, transferred to Irondale after his freshman year. Fouls that one off, 0-1. Seidenkrantz and Nelson to follow. Young bounces that one about 8 feet short. 1-1. One the count. Knights try and grab the 2 runs. that the Cardinals picked up in the top of the inning, back here in the bottom. Chad Ritter is out in the on-deck circle, and he will apparently hit for himself. Young misses, 3-1. Young giving up 4 hits, 4 runs, all earned, 5 strikeouts and 1 walk in his 2 2/3. But here is walk number 2. Leeser's aboard. 7th walk given up by the Cardinal pitchers today. And the batter now is Chad Ritter. He also makes his first at bat of the season. And the first one misses up high from Young. Ritter digs in. Leeser wanders away from first. And it's down low. Snap throw back to first, but Leeser trots back. 2-0, and Young has missed with 6 straight. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Young. That one's called a strike at the knees, 2-1. Young's ready, checks the runner, and delivers again. Up high, 3-1. And now Ritter can be a selective hitter. Didn't like that one. Wilson liked it, but home plate umpire Joe Erickson says, nope, you missed it, and it's another walk. 2 on with nobody out, and Jerry Coe out of the Cardinal dugout. And that is going to be all for John Young. Jason Flippen will be the new pitcher, and we'll tell you about him when we come back. This is Twin Cities Suburban Conference Baseball on KABL. That's Jason Flippen. He will be the 3rd Cardinal pitcher to work in today's game, making his first appearance of the year. And Flippen will try and slam the door on the Knights here in the bottom of the 5th. Young walked the first 2 men that he faced, Ethan Leeser and Chad Ritter. So Flippen now comes in and will face Mike Nelson. Young moves to shortstop after starting the game in right field. And he will now man the shortstop position, so the defensive diamond is Tentner, Stanley, Young, and Fruland in the infield with Flippen on the mound. Ritter aboard at first, Leeser at second. And the batter is Nelson. Flippen is ready. Young's line, 2 2/3, 4 hits. So far, 4 runs all earned. Nelson tried to bunt and chased it when it was in the dirt. 0-1. Young is charged with 4 runs thus far. He's responsible for the 2 runners. He walked 3 and struck out 5 through 67 pitches, 40 for strikes. And Nelson, who entered the game as a pinch hitter for Campbell Bats, he's 0 for 2. Reached on an error and grounded into a force play. Both at bats coming against Young. Again squared to bunt and again offered at it when it was in the dirt, and he's now in an 0-2 hole. And Coach Jerry Coe comes out of the dugout as the infield rotation wasn't as he would have liked. But Nelson has given Flippin a couple of strikes. And it's 0-2. Runners lead from first and second. Nobody out, bottom of the fifth. Here's the pitch. Curveball in the dirt, and this will accomplish the same thing as the bunt as the runners move up. The wild pitch by Flippin is the third of the game by the Cardinal staff. And it's 1-2. Runners now at second and third. Joe Quick waits on deck. Rob Ramaker to follow. Here's Flippin's pitch. Curveball is chopped to the left side. Frulin handles a tough hop, then drops the ball. And everybody's safe. 6 errors against the Cardinals today. Leeser comes in to score. Ritter goes to third, and the Cardinals will now pull the infield in with the winning run at third for the Knights, as Chad Ritter's run would put the Knights on top by 10. They lead it 17-8, and the Cardinals will pull the infield and the outfield in against Joe Quick. Runners at the corners. And, of course, nobody out. So the Cardinals in a tough spot here. Flippin really needs a strikeout. Curveball starts Quick with strike one. Quick on the day got off to a good start with an RBI triple, but has since flown to center and then struck out twice. Swinging in the second, looking in the fourth. Curveball is popped up right field. Should be deep enough to get the run home, and it is caught in right by Langfeld, but tagging up and scoring on the play is Ritter, and the Knights have won it by the 10-run rule. Ritter's run puts them on top by 10 on the sacrifice fly by Joe Quick. He picks up his second RBI of the ballgame, and Irondale wins it by a score of 18-8. They score 2 here in the fifth, and Jim Coletti's crew now improves their record to 3-1 overall, 2-1 in the Eastern Division. We'll be back with some final thoughts from Irondale. Knights win it, 18-8 your final. A rough one for the Cardinals today as they commit 6 errors, 4 of them by third baseman Ben Frulin. And they couldn't get a couple of clutch hits when they had some chances. Joe Quick and John Young trade stories about the game, and most of them good for the Knights as they win it by a score of 18-8 and continue their mastery over the Cardinals in regular season games. It's now 3 times they've beaten the Cards in the last 2 seasons in the regular season. And they have done it by decisive margins all 3 times, outscoring them by a combined total of 42-18 in those 3 games. The Knights now improved to 2-1 in Twin Cities suburban play. In the Eastern Division, they're a half game behind Hill Murray and Roseville, pending the outcome of their games today. And the Cardinals fall to 1-2 in the Western Division, but they will be no more than 1 game off the pace because everybody in the West already has 1 loss. Coming up for these teams on Thursday, the Cardinals will be at home against Roseville. The Knights will go to Stillwater before next week. A couple of big tests. The Knights have an opportunity to win a couple as they go to Elk River and face Park Center. The Cardinals have a tough week as they will face Stillwater and Osseo next week. Big test for the Cardinals. A reminder, there's more baseball coming your way here on KABL as we'll be in the North Suburban, the old stomping grounds of the Knights, for a matchup between Totino Grace and Centennial. That one premieres Friday night at 8 o'clock, and you can see it throughout the weekend as well. For the rest of the KABL Sports crew, I'm Anthony LaPanta. I'd like to thank Jim Coletti, Jerry Coe for their help getting ready for tonight's ball game, and thank you for joining us. I'm Anthony LaPanta saying so long from Irondale.